People were asking, did you visit the hamster ranch? And hold on, I'm just making sure this audio is okay. People were asking, did you visit the hamster ranch? And I'm going to tell you this, yes, I did. I went out there and visited with the hamster rancher himself, Mr. Austin Robinette. And I'm going to see if I have his call here, right here. Man, where is Hamsters? His call. Anyhow, I should have it right here. I don't have it. But anyhow, Austin called in a while back, and he said, hey, man, I am a damn hamster rancher, and I need you out here. You would love it out here. And he's out here ranching hams. And so I went out there, and I pull up, and look, man, I was a little bit nervous. Because, look, let's be honest. 9 out of 10 times somebody says, hey, come out to the suburbs or rural area, rural Oregon, and I'll be out here with 5,000 or 6,000 hamsters. Pretty much 9 out of 10 times you're going to get murdered. 9 out of 10 times. Go do it. You don't believe me? I know some of you guys are sitting there like, come on, man. 90% of the time I'm gonna get murdered. Yes, you might. So I'm not saying that I'm a damn miracle, but I'm saying I caught that lucky non-murdering hamster rancher. And so Austin, I met him up out there, and he's a man. He's he's about a medium man. If you had to think of a man who's a medium, a healthy medium, then you would be thinking about him. And I got out there, and I was nervous, and next thing you know, they welcomed me inside. He was out there. He has children. So you got children out there, and we see the children, things are pretty legit. Because a lot of murderers, if somebody's a murderer, they don't bring their children around, Murderers, they usually do family stuff, murder stuff, completely separate. But I'll tell you this, I got into their main kind of, and I don't want to call it a warehouse because I don't want to make their business sound like like not legit or not healthy or not. I mean, these animals were all well cared for, it seemed like. They had a mall out there. They had them Swarovskis, them Russians. They had, I didn't see any, they had some Syrians. I saw probably about, I'm not even joking, maybe 1,100 Syrian hamps out there. Gang, gang. I saw they had the Campbell Dwarfs. I mean, they had Angus. They had the Black Angus, dude. They had the Fibonacci's. They had everything. They had everything out. You can't even imagine. I saw 6,000 hamsters. Right there. I mean, it was like, dang. I mean, if Noah's Ark would have pulled up, it would have been a fucking fight because there's no way you were going to pick 2 just to put on a boat. They were all beautiful. And I was in heaven. And this man, Tony Jones, met me out there. My lady friend accompanied me out there. And we made it out there, and we just checked him out. And it was awesome. The lady, I think Christy or Krista is her name. I also don't want to give out too much of their personal information because they welcomed me into their environment. But I'll tell you this man, Austin Robinette, and fuck, I just gave his full name. But this man, Austin Robinette, he's a hamp rancher. And man, they welcomed me in, and next thing you know, look, I'll tell you this, if you would have put me in a bathtub, you could have completely covered me with hamsters. If I was laying down, you could have completely covered me with hamsters probably 40 times. That's how many there were. So I'm just telling you, there was 6,000, 7,000. And look, there was a lot of them were breastfeeding, and they were fucking hugging. And a lot of them, like, you're walking down the rows, and they're in these little, they're in these, cages or aquariums. And I'm not sounding cages. This shit ain't like the Green Mile, It's not like I'm walking through there, and they got, one of them's beating a cup against the rails or something, or throwing, skeet out of the damn cage or something like in Silence of the Lambs. It's not like Silence of the Hamps, where they got a short man in the distance licking his lips with a hockey mask on, talking about wine. There was nothing wild like that. You just had, oh man, I can't even express to you the joy that I felt. And for me, like, I've never been a pet lover, and I know that hurts some people to hear, but I grew up in an environment where you didn't have, Nobody had a fucking pet when I was young, okay? I saw a blind kid one time get chased by 2 bats. That's really the first experience I ever had with animals. And that shit is... And then I got attacked by dogs on one of my birthdays. I got attacked by cats on one of my birthdays. A cat came off this roof one time of a camper and fucking got me right around my clavicle. When we were about to go to the river one time, couldn't even go. Had to get rabies, tetanus shots, all of that. So I haven't had good experience. And nobody in my neighborhood nobody had a pet. Nobody had a fucking PET. A pet is something you touch that is an animal. Okay? People had animals. They had that dog that lived over there by Wellington's house, by Danny Wellington's. Have you seen that dog? People are like, is that Danny's dog? Fuck no, that ain't Danny's dog. Okay? That dog's from somewhere else. That dog could be from Nebraska. It's mixed. The dog is mixed. It looks kind of half, maybe half Scottish, half African American. And that thing's out there fucking people up by Danny Wellington's. That's nobody's dog. I remember the first time I ever saw a pet indoors, and that was a pet. That's a dog you can touch. It's not going to, that's not going to try and attack you or wrangle you or get some blood out of your body with its teeth. Yeah, we didn't have all that. So when I see these people come, and I see, and I'm in the safe confines of this ranch, man, it just made me, for the first time in my life, I kind of felt what it was like to be an animal lover. Really. And that shows me that a lot of times it's just about that safety, feeling that safety around animals and feeling, I guess, I grew up in such fear of them that I wasn't able to love. It's hard to love from a place of fear. It's really, really hard. And that's one thing I've even found. I'm not trying to get emo here, but one thing I found about myself as a person. Now, when I was a child, I must have been so fearful as a child that it was hard for me to learn about love because I couldn't. It's really hard to love from a place of fear because love is it's a lot of trust. Love is just as much trust as you can put together. I mean, it's just a really fancy buffet of trust. You got a little bit of trust pudding, and you got some, you got some trust ruffles. And you got some trust truffles, and you got trust flakes and trust cracklings over here. And then you got the boiled trust and the baked trust and the murder trust. And that's that trust buffet. That's love. But man, when you don't have that growing up and you feel fearful, then it's hard to love things. It's hard to love people. It's hard to love yourself, really. But that's what happened to me with them animals. Every time I went outdoors, it was fucking, gang, son. Who wants a piece of daddy? Trying to punch at these crows that were trying to attack us, or, people, dogs coming at us, not to mention the lice belt. Don't even tell me I didn't grow up in the lice belt. Next thing you know, you're walking with a friend. Next thing you know, he hits the dirt and he's scratching his head and you don't know what happened. You think invisible lightning got him. No, it didn't. No, it didn't. That's lice. And that's the devil's invisible crawling lightning. And that's head lice. And so it just, it was hard to love animals when you couldn't trust them. Because I'm going to be honest, if people want to say all animals aren't trustworthy and all that, let's don't get into that shit. Okay? Some of these animals are out there just trying to just get that next hit, to buy that next gram. Okay? To cop that next piece of ass. Not every animal is nice. If you remember Roger Rabbit, and they have those 3 or 4 weasels, those sneaky weasels trying to bang that chick with the red hair. Yeah. Remember Scrooge McDuck? The Beagle Boys? They're dogs, dude. Yeah. And they were bank robbers. And I know you're like, oh, those are drawings. I know they're drawings, but they're based on real life, you idiot. And that's what I'm saying. Not all animals are great. But when you don't trust them, you don't have that trust. But when I was out there with Austin and this gang, man, it was... I mean, you can't even believe the joy. And I'm making a video. I'll put it up on Patreon this week. And I'm not making it just for Patreon people, but I am going to say that I got to do something for them. There's a lot of support. A lot of support. There's a lot of support. So, but man, I'm trying to think of what else happened. Dude, I almost couldn't even hear when I was there. I was having so much fun just being around them all. And you get up to the cages and you just, some of them, they just, some of them look like they speak Spanish, and some of them look like they, might have been homosexual or just trying to meet another little, man hamster. I mean, he had everything. He had everything going on. And they had rabbits, and then some of the families live there on premises. And the people that own the joint, they used to both sell tropical fish. And they met at like a big fish mixer. So, I mean, that's animals right there bringing people together. When you're out there at a big fish mixer, you guys are standing on the side of a tank. Next thing you know, y'all are both, ogling the same carp or whatever. And then fast forward 7 years, you guys are running a hamster ranch out there outside of Oregon. So it was unbelievable. And that's the power of podcasting too. Because Austin hit me up. He just said, hey man, I love the podcast. I want to know what's going on. And here's what I do. Here, I got the call right here. Let's see if we can listen to it. This is the call that came in originally from Austin.
Hey Theo, my name's Austin. I'm from Oregon up here, just south of Portland. I just wanted to call. So I heard about you through Joe Rogan's podcast, Joe Rogan, and thought it was kind of pretty funny. So
thank you, Austin. I appreciate that. And this is his original call. Keep going.
I checked out your podcast and fairly recently, actually. So one night I was working on the farm that I live on, and I'm working away, and I heard you on your other podcast, allegedly, talking about hamster farms. And I thought it was crazy because I live on a hamster ranch, and I was right in the middle of feeding hamsters, so I was kind of freaking out. It's in there by myself, feeding hamsters, listening to you.
Wow, and you would think from hearing that the man's going to be a murderer. I was in there by myself feeding hamsters. But no, man, he was a good man. And Austin, I thank you so much. Austin came out to the show on Saturday night with two of his friends. And everybody had a great time, and I'm just grateful. We'll try to check in with Austin here and there and see if we can't, have him be an occasional guest here on this past weekend. But it was just, that's the power of podcasting. He hears that, he reaches out, and next thing we're out there really enjoying ourselves out there and just getting to be around all these beautiful little, just fucking floor bears. I mean, just spirited. It was just like magic. I mean, it was just like magic. It was like somebody just took a whole fucking bag of just magic dust and just buried it inside of a bunch of little bitty animals' asses or something, or eyes or hearts, and let those little animals out loose into the world. I mean, I had 6,000 or 7,000 hamsters within reach. And you can't even imagine how many that is. That's what's crazy about it. But we had a great time, man, and that's what went on. That's what went on right there.